again, Roy Maddox, the solar guy. Now, we're living in incredibly uncertain times globally at the moment with COVID-19, coronavirus, marching its way around the world. The question on many people's lips is probably why solar and why now? Now, historically, we've always seen solar as a fantastic way of saving money, of reducing our carbon footprints and generating our own power. But in these times, a primary use for solar is for energy security. If anything happens and things get worse than they are now, you can imagine that if our critical response teams at the likes of electricity networks and people like that, if they get hit badly and are short-staffed, if a storm comes through, if we're heading into cyclone, we're heading into winter, if a storm comes through and trees come down and power goes out, it's going to become even more critical that we can maintain our own base level requirements. A system that can keep fridge and freezer going, that can keep some lights, communications. You need to be able to have your TV, your radio for civil defence alerts. You need to be able to have your internet, ideally. Definitely refrigeration, some lights, and even a few power points. Now, solar can do this for you. So solar with battery is definitely the thing to be looking at these days. And it's, I've been saying this anyway, without batteries, solar is only half of an equation. So looking at the concept of adding solar and adding even a small amount of battery storage, it doesn't need to be an incredibly expensive exercise. One of the benefits of a good hybrid inverter, there's a few on the market. My favorite is the SunGrow hybrid, but a good hybrid inverter will actually turn itself into a small off-grid system if the mains power goes out. So what effectively happens if the mains goes down, your hybrid inverter with a small amount of battery bank, when the sun is out, can power a small selection of your fuses out of your main distribution board. Now, I just want to clarify, it's very unlikely without spending tens of thousands of dollars that you can have a system that will power your entire house. That's simply not practical. And in homes where we've got things like heat pumps, swimming pools, spa pools, underfloor heating, all of these types of electrical appliances that aren't critical to our survival and aren't critical to our comfort in an emergency. These need to not be powered by your solar. So what we do is we set up generally a small subboard. So one of those small distribution boards you see about that big, that might have 4 or 6 breakers in it. There's little fuse breakers in it, and that can maintain some of the circuits in the house, and that becomes your emergency power supply board. We call it an EPS. So your solar can power that EPS when the sun's out to the tune of about 20 amps. That's about 5 kilowatts of demand. And if you think about kilowatts, that's enough to run fridge, freezer, you can turn on a jug, you can use a toaster one at a time, you can keep your communications going. That's enough during the day to run just about everything you need in the house. Now, different at night, obviously when the sun goes down, you're not getting your solar generation, but you do have whatever level of battery you can afford. Now, even a small battery, something as small as 3 kilowatt hours, will maintain your refrigeration and your modem, your router, your internet connectivity, some LED lights, and just emergency supply overnight. A lot of people living off-grid actually turn off their fridges and freezers and just close them overnight. So, decent, efficient refrigeration will stay cold overnight with a minimum amount of power. But you just have to use your common sense and husband that resource carefully. So, solar plus batteries gives us enough confidence and security that in these times it's one less thing to worry about. So that's my thought for today. If you're considering solar, definitely consider the options in the market for solar with battery storage. And I'll come back to you in another video and we'll talk a bit further about batteries. But thanks for tuning in again. Roy Maddox, Solar Guy, signing off, and I hope to see you on the other side of this pandemic. Bye now. Stay well.